Hello, and welcome back to Writing with Witches, the podcast where you get to listen to two witches talk about writing and marketing,
Yay, our favorite
which is
subject.
this episode is about. But a little different. We're talking about newsletters today. So, my name is Leona Urbanski. I'm a debut author with my book coming out in April of this year, and my co-host is.
I am Nicole Autumn. I am the author behind the Secret Society series. I was doing calculations in my head because I'm like, I know this comes out in January, mid-January. So all of my books are published at this point in the Secret Society series. My newest release, Unveiled, has come out 4 days ago at this point. Yay! So, yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, the ninth, right?
Yeah, that would be the book news. Unveiled
Yeah,
has
that's the big one.
officially been published. But with book news on that, I'm not putting the ebook up on Amazon. So if you want to read it, unfortunately, you're going to have to buy a hard copy. At this point, I do want to get the ebook out, but I am in the process of transferring everything over off of Amazon, getting my own ISBNs, and putting it all everywhere else that isn't scalping books using AI. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, they kind of put a wrench in my plans too.
Yeah, it's not ideal. So, if you want to read Unveiled, you will have to buy the physical copy or wait a little longer until I can get it on other digital platforms that you can purchase the ebook from. But at this point, it will not be going on KU.
That is fair, and as someone that has been reading it, it's still a very good book no matter how many times I read it, so it is worth getting the hard copy.
That's the meme I sent you. You honor me. I love when people say that. Like, my friend is rereading Unbound, so she can read Unveiled. So she's one of those series restarters. She has gone back and is now reading the first book, and she's like, I keep catching new things every time I read. And she was like, I didn't realize that Jensen was tall enough to not walk through a doorway. And I was like, oh, that's right. He is 6'5". He's really freaking tall. He might have to duck a little.
Yeah, that's touch.
And just a little bit.
Like, I have friends that are 6 and 6'1", and they have to duck sometimes. So, yeah.
Especially in basements, that it's like real close. So, but any book news for you?
I am working on the Fae Touched book still, which is the first book in the Silver Eyes trilogy. Just plugging along again like I was with Fire Magic, honestly. Thanks to you and Alex, we have introduced whole other factions, and I really need to get a whiteboard up so that I can, like, have the conspiracy theory board going with the string and all.
Miro. Use the Miro board, because that's how I was doing it with the Casper novel. It's just like getting all the plot points out and organizing things. But yeah, sometimes it does help, though, to have that physical whiteboard. I mean, who am I to say? I got one right here. Yeah, granted, no, right now it is covered in child scribbles.
No, I just need to get that up, and because I am starting to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of introducing these factions into the book, which they didn't used to be there. So getting them introduced is a challenge when I'm rewriting this to make sure that it all goes smoothly, I guess. So yeah. And then Fire Magic is still on track for April of this year. Still planning on doing the Kickstarter. I need to pin you down to help me with that.
Well, after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, there's always that weird time where you're like, I feel like I should be doing something. Things are happening, but not really happening. So definitely between that time frame, I can help you. We'll chit chat.
we'll chit chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're still doing that. Keep subscribed to the Substack. I am going to be pushing that out hopefully in the next day or so with some more content art from our wonderful, amazing Alex Ariel in design, as well as another snippet. Um, and arcs should have gone out for Fire Magic by now. E-art, digital arcs should already be out, and hopefully by now I have the physical ones in the mail. Depends on how fast I get them printed and get them sent to me. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah. So this episode, like
times.
yeah, fun times. Shipping is always so much fun. So like you said, this episode we are discussing newsletters, which can be a game changer for authors. Excuse me. I had a tickle in the back of my throat. Once you start building that mailing list, you know that those are people that are 100% invested in your work. Because they went out of their way to put their email in and say, yes, I want information from you about your work. So, like I was saying, with newsletters, though, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. One being your scheduling. How often are you going to be sending out your newsletters? For me, I like to do once a month. And that is purely because at this point, we are still writing short stories. So I know I have that at least to send out to them. That and because I am working on Unveiled, well, at this point, it's done. But now I'm going to be working on other projects, just giving like sneak peeks of paragraphs or little snippets of things that I'm working on. So with that, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so sorry. Being consistent. You need to pick a schedule and stick with it. Being consistent is going to be something that your readers are going to look forward to. Without sending them too often. You don't want to spam them. So I've settled for once a month because I feel like that is frequent enough that they're not going to forget about me. But it is enough that they get excited when they see something coming in. Like, ooh, there's something new that's happening. And I'm hoping they look forward to it. So yeah, making sure you pick a schedule and you stick with it. Being consistent is key when it comes to newsletters.
And also keep in mind your own workload. Make sure that whatever schedule you're picking, that you're going to be able to be consistent with it. Like if you're like, okay, I'm going to do this once a week, make sure you're able to do it once a week. You may not be able to. And so that's just something, don't overstretch yourself because, you know, you tell people you're going to send them a newsletter once a week and then you don't deliver. They're going to kind of lose faith in what you're saying. So my way of doing it is I say it's once a month and then I'll occasionally throw out like a bonus newsletter if I have the content for it, or if I'm trying to build up towards something like I am right now, because I will occasionally send out a second newsletter during the month, especially with everything is kind of snowballing right now. So it's not going to hurt to send out more than what you say. Just like Nicole said, once a day is too much. I have a couple of newsletters that come in once a day, and it's just
Lord.
they automatically go to the trash.
That's a
Because
lot.
I'm just like, nope.
My thing is like, what are they telling you that is different in every single one? You know what I mean? So with your newsletters, you got to make sure that you're putting in different information. You don't want to send the same thing over and over and over again, because again, it's going to go straight to the spam folder. They're going to be like, nope, block, delete, I don't want it, unsubscribe. You want to make sure that you are including things that are different. Whatever that may be for you as an author is up to you, but sending the same thing consistently, how do you come up with enough content to send one every day? I would be flabbergasted. You'd get blank emails from me if that was the case.
Yeah. I don't know anymore because I don't read them anymore.
That's fair. Yeah. So with going into that, you have to decide what content you're putting in. Right now, because both of us are working with an artist, which is Alex of Alex Areola Design, we have been having art snippets that we've been sending of characters, of cover art that we're excited about. So we're like, we got to show the readers this. So art is a big one. If you can show them art and show them what they're reading or who they're going to read about or where, that really just rounds out your storytelling when you can send them art. So that is definitely one that you can put in your newsletters that readers look forward to. I love seeing artwork though.
No, it's just, especially for someone like me that can't picture them.
Yeah.
You have the people like me that I cannot picture what they look like. And so being able, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's expensive.
It is.
It's worth it, but you also have to make sure to take that into consideration. One of the only reasons that I personally been able to put out as much art as I've been putting out is I've been also Alex does usually 3 versions of concept art before we decide on the final version. So I'm getting, and I have permission from her to share the concept art. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting 4 pieces of art that I can spread out amongst the newsletters right now. So, yeah, because when I was doing the cover art, I was sending out a lot of newsletters because I had all of that concept art to send out. So,
yeah.
I know you were sending out stages with Amy at one point, I think.
Yeah. So with her, I was sending her in stages and then the finished. And then I've also been doing that with Charles because I'm not getting a lot of concepts done at once. I am focusing on one character and it's like a full scene of the character. So that is kind of what we're focusing on right now with mine is just character art per character. So it's not like full scenes yet of like multi-characters or scenes from the book. I wanted to start with like, okay, I just want the characters themselves first. That way it is something that I can use for advertising. I can put it on merchandise if I decide to do that. So yeah, that was what I was focusing on. So mine was coming in stages like, oh, look at, this is what we have so far. And it keeps going. So yeah. And it is a process to get art too. It is a long process, you know, because they got to work their magic. But yeah. Oh man, I wish it could go faster, but I know it can't. I wish Alex could be like a machine and just work on it all day, but she can't.
Yeah, she's a person.
Yeah, but you know.
So yeah, art, and then you know what is our bread and butter is the snippets out of our books. Whatever books you're choosing to highlight in that newsletter is, like right now, the only book I'm highlighting is Fire Magic because that's the only thing coming up the pipeline right now. Once that book is out and published, I'll probably start doing snippets from Fae Touched, that kind of thing, and just moving forward from that. So what you've been writing, what you are writing, what is to come? I know you've been putting in short stories.
Yeah.
From our publications, so.
Yeah. Those are the snippets that I've been putting in as of right now. Because mine do go out once a month. And I've just been kind of giving those as like freebies. Like, hey, here's something that you can read that's mine. Like, just because Unveiled is kind of hard to just put snippets in because I don't know if people have read previous books or not. It's the last book in the series. So, like, I could put snippets of it, but it could be spoilery if you haven't read prior books, and you could kind of be lost. So I kind of opted for just doing the short stories for now. But the next book I will be working on is a standalone. So those snippets are a possibility. So
Possibility.
just a wee little possibility of them. But another thing, speaking of books that I'm going to be working on, putting on in your newsletters what you're currently working on, letting your readers know like, hey, this is what is on my desk currently. things that you have that you're currently writing on, things that have been tabled, things that are being edited at this point. So they kind of have a little bit of a timeline or just a sense of knowing what you're working on can honestly build some anticipation. Because sometimes, I mean, my titles, I don't really have titles till they're done. I don't know what to name them until it's finished, basically. So a lot of the times they can be very self-explanatory, like Casper inspired novel. So when people read my, newsletter and they're like, "Ooh, a Casper inspired novel, what is that going to be like?" So, yeah, sometimes you get a little, it builds some anticipation for what could be coming when you discuss what's on your desk.
Yeah. And that kind of goes, it's kind of the same thing a little bit. For me, it's a little different from what's on the desk versus the pipeline, because what's on the desk for me is what I am literally working on at that moment. So like right now, what's on the desk for me is Fey Touched.
Yeah.
But pipeline for me is what could potentially be coming in the future. So like I'll give little synopsises of other first drafts that I'm currently working on, but they're not like the main focus. It's just like this could be coming in the future, or this is the plan, but it's going to be a while kind of thing. So just
Yeah.
little tiny sneak peeks to far into the future.
Yeah. Which, yeah, that's fair. And sometimes pipelines can go out much further than just what's on your desk. Because you could say, like you're talking about Fire Magic and it's a trilogy. So in the people know that in the pipeline you have Fire Magic that's coming out, then it's Blood Magic, then the third book. So you know that is the pipeline, and that's years out. So what's on your desk is more current, more relevant to what you're working on. Maybe things have been tabled, or where pipeline is like long expectation wise, this is where we're heading. So, and you can also put in, because you're going to get new subscribers or people that decide to sign up for your newsletter, having a little section of books that have been previously published. Point your readers in the direction of the things that are already out that they can read now and not have to wait for. So that could be an idea to put in your newsletter as well.
Because like you said, you are going to be getting new subscribers, hopefully on a regular basis. So you want them to know what's already out there. Like Nicole would be putting the entire Secret Society series at this point in the newsletter. So people know, hey, she already has 3 books and a novella out. You can go read that while you're waiting for whatever initially drew you into the newsletter in the first place, if it wasn't Secret Society.
Yeah.
So.
And you can get creative with this. It doesn't have to be just a list. I know Leona has mentioned one of the authors that she follows and has a newsletter from. They do banners. So at the bottom of their newsletters, or at the top, I can't remember which one, it just has banners of books in certain series, and it's just all colorful and bright and pictures with art. And you can make those clickable. Those pictures, make them clickable so they can just click it and it takes them to that series. So that's also a way that you could do it, instead of just saying, hey, here's other books that I've written. You can make it pretty, be creative, and bring color to it, so it isn't so just white email. You can do all kinds of creative, fun things, because I like to make things colorful.
No, I
just
never
a little.
would have guessed.
just a smidgen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Sylvia Mercedes is the one that kind of gave me the inspiration for that. And she had at the bottom of the newsletter the banners for each series that she's written. It's already published and out. She also has banners for what is coming out that already has like a publication date plan kind of thing. And I have definitely taken my inspiration from her, and the Fire Magic banner sits at the bottom of every newsletter I send out now. I try to. I sometimes forget.
Uh-oh. So yeah, using banners or other clickable pictures or links or whatever is a good way to drive traffic towards the things that have already been written and published. Is there any other things that you can think of that needs to be
Not off the top of my head, no.
Um, you could also just include like personal, not personal, but like something that you like. So, for example, I like to read tarot, which will bring us into our witchy tip. I like to do tarot, so sometimes I will throw in a monthly tarot spread or a one card pull for the month for the collective. Even though I'm not an expert, I'm not a professional tarot reader. It's just something that I like that I think maybe my readers may like because I write about witches and magic and all that good shit. So it's something that I like that I feel like I could bring to my readers, and it's just a little something extra that isn't book related. So if there's something like that, maybe you like to cook, throw in the recipe that was your favorite recipe that month. Something that adds more value to your newsletter besides just book related content, because you never know, that maybe become the favorite thing that people look forward to. Like, oh, I wonder what she's cooking this month. I know she's a good cook. Or I wonder what she's crafting because I know she's a crafty girl. Like, what did she make this month? If obviously, if you didn't make anything, like that's fine. But just those little things that it also builds that community and connection with your readers that isn't just book related. Just that little personal connection, I guess you can say.
And one other thing that I just thought of thinking about other newsletters that I've gotten is it's book connected, but if you are doing any kind of release party or book tour or going to a convention, putting your schedule in there so people know when you're going, where you're going, if they could come see you, like if you they should bring books to get signed, or if you're doing a panel at a convention or anything like that, just make sure you have that in there so your readers know where to find you.
That's a good idea. So that would bring us to our witchy tip. Like I said, tarot. So I have recently gotten Leona more into tarot. But we wanted to talk about tarot spreads specifically. There is a lot, and I think this was brought up between us because I mentioned doing a 12-month annual card pull. This is something that I've probably done for the last 5 years, 6 years. In the beginning of the year, I typically sit down and I do a full 12-month spread. So 1 to 2 cards per month, and I write down what that month overall is going to look like for me and my family. So that is something that I like to do at every year. But there are also some very common tarot spreads, like just a standard 3-card pull. Sometimes it's past, present, future. Sometimes it's like things you want to do, or however you want to do that with the 3-part cards.
I know
Another.
Sorry, I just remember I know one of them, Instagram person I tend to have come across my feed is, what are we talking about? Why is it here? And how we handle it.
There you
That's
go.
another 3-card.
Yeah. So those are all 3-card pulls are very common, and I'm sure if you look on the internet and you just put a 3-card tarot pull, you will find a plethora of them. They are everywhere. Because it is a very simple way to get started on tarot without it being completely overwhelming. But another one that is very popular is the Celtic Cross. That is in almost every tarot book I have ever seen. Even with the decks that come with them, and like the little booklet in the back, almost every single one of them have a Celtic Cross in it. So it is a very common tarot spread that you can do. And one that we have found that I actually did last night was it was Alex who sent it. I'm going to let you know right now, this camera has been cutting in and out as I was trying to find this, so it might flash at you a little bit of my background, my computer background. It was called the Anglerum Year. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the End Tarot spread for 2025. I believe Leona said she would flash it up on the screen so you could see it. And I can link it down below. I believe it was like I don't know, maybe a Pinterest post. I'm not sure. If I can find who made it, I will credit them and link it directly. But so there's Pinterest is probably your best place to go for finding tarot spreads. They are everywhere. They're a whole bunch, and they are super useful if you don't want to just do a shuffle and see what the hell comes out, you know, if you have specific questions.
Yeah. I know my spreads with my Oracle deck was specific to that deck, my Druid Animal Oracle deck. So it's also take advantage of the resources that you're getting with the decks too.
Yeah.
You know, see what spreads, because the spreads in the Druid Animal Oracle deck that I have is very specific to Druidry. There is a spread called the Alwyn, which is like 3 rays of light. It's a 9 card spread. There's a spread called the Hearth, which I don't know if that's a tarot spread or if that's specific to the Oracle deck that I have. I don't know. So yeah, it's take advantages not only of Pinterest, but also of whatever documentation you're getting with your deck.
Yeah. For sure.
Especially Oracle decks.
Yeah, because Oracle decks, they don't have a system. It's whatever is in that book is what is for that deck. So if you're using Oracle decks, it's a good thing to use your resources on those, because it's, like I said, it's not set up as a system the way tarot is, where certain cards have certain meanings across every deck with some wiggle room, depending on the artwork and the colors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So jumping back into newsletters. Another thing that you can do is creating connections with other authors. This can go a long way with helping you reach other authors. What the hell was that word? Communities. Reaching another author's community. Oh my god. My brain just, like, you know those dial-up sounds from old computers?
Yes.
That was literally what was happening in my brain. It was like, oh my gosh, the old AOL signing in sounds. Jeez Louise. That's gonna age me. So that can also help you help other authors build their community and vice versa. So promoting other authors, if you have either an author friend or you reach out to an author because they have similar writing style or genres or whatever, and say, hey, I would like to, potentially promote your stuff on my newsletter, and we could kind of do a swap and you do mine or whatever. I'm not sure how that would work because mine's already built in for me with Leona. And I'm sure when Alex starts writing and putting her stuff out for publishing, that's another one that we're just going to kind of boost each other's stuff. I mean, I have Alex and her art already just plastered in my newsletters, like, hey, this is where the art is coming from, go to this website. So, and once you get closer to your Kickstarter, I'm also going to be putting your stuff in there, but right now it's kind of just been arcs. So yeah, promoting other authors.
So, and one thing that I want to make sure we emphasize with this is promoting another author is never going to hurt you. We are a community, not a competition.
Yeah.
And for all that they try to do bestseller lists and sales numbers, and you're still going to have readers, they're going to buy both books from the different authors. There are very few readers out there that will only buy certain... There's never going to be a reader out there that's only going to ever buy just one author.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not going to happen.
If they do, they're just very particular. Yeah, they're just very particular at that point. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, giving your fellow authors a helping hand with promoting their work is never going to end. While, yes, I think reaching out to them and trying to do a swap is a good idea, you don't even necessarily have to reach out to them. You can put, like, hey, here's a review of what, if you want to put in your newsletter, this was what I was reading this month. Here's a review of the book that I was reading. That's one way to promote another author, because if you do that, then yes, you should put a link in to that author's website or their book, however, whatever they have set up. Um, and, if you want to email them and say, hey, just so you know, I put this in my newsletter, just reaching out to let you know that, they might come back with, hey, thanks, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Maybe they will come back with, hey, what's your book so I can promote you in mine. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. It depends on the author. But it's, like I said, we are a community. This is not a competition. This is not who can get the most newsletter subscribers, readers. This is us helping each other.
Yeah.
I'll be done on my soapbox there.
I mean, but you make a good point, because if you can find the right authors and building that community where people are supportive, you guys will only grow together. And that is what ultimately what you would, I assume, would want. So yeah, it never helps. It never hurts. It does help. It doesn't hurt. Oh man, words are hard. It doesn't hurt to promote other authors. So I'm not sure what you mean by other side gigs.
What we're doing right now.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes, which we do promote other authors even here on this podcast. We do our reviews when we talk about other authors. If I remember, I do try to link them all down below to their books that we may have talked about, or just their author website to get them some traction. And most of these authors probably have no idea who we are, but I'm still rooting for them. So we try to link it down below if we can. So yeah, promoting your side gigs like a podcast, or maybe you are going on someone else's podcast, or you have interviews, or like you said, your side gig could be your touring. That is, something that you could let other readers know, like, hey, this is going on. So yeah, promoting side gigs makes a lot of sense.
Or like if you feel like having that connection made, maybe you have an Etsy store that you do some kind of fiber work with, or crafting, that you're like, hey, by the way, if you need something for Christmas, come to my Etsy shop too.
Especially if it's bookish related. If you're making things that are bookish related, you'd be surprised for the market. People love bookish related merchandise. Go for it,
Yeah.
Also doing guest content. So I guess that would be more so like, hey, would you like to do some type of swap on, doing guest work, I guess, in your newsletters. Or I've even seen authors doing author swaps for newsletters, like, or an author takeover type thing. Those can also help bring in new readers from, again, other authors' communities, kind of helping each other out to build your own community individually and together.
Think of it as, if you're familiar with Twitch, rating someone else at the end of a stream.
Yeah.
You're sending these readers over to another author to help promote that author as well.
Yeah.
So.
Also advertising your sales. So if you decide, hey, I'm going to, and I see it a lot specifically for book anniversaries or the author's birthday, like, hey, I'm turning 39, so all my books are 39% off, or whatever. Being able to advertise those sales to people that are subscribed to your newsletter who may not have read all your books, that is a good opportunity to be like, hey, this is on sale. If you have been waiting to get it, now is your time, because you can save some cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Um so yeah. Holy moly, my brain is
AOL at the end.
it's buffering hard right
Suffering.
now. Um Creating your newsletter, this probably should have been more towards the beginning, but that's fine. Choosing the platform you're going to use. For mine, I like to use Wix because I'm on a free situation with Wix, and they give you a free 200 emails a month to send out to your subscribers. So when you're just starting out, that's great. You don't have to pay to have a newsletter sent out because some places are only like 50, 60 newsletters a month. And if you're doing, say, weekly, that adds up fast. So choosing your platform can be kind of like a big deciding factor on where you're going to be putting it. I know Leona went with Substack, and I chose Wix just because I already had a website there, so it just made it easy just to keep it all in one spot. But yeah, picking your platform.
What happens when you make your email list before you make your website?
Yeah, yeah, but it's okay. You're working around it.
I'm making it work one way or the
Yeah,
other. And also, when you choose a platform, do try to be consistent about it, because one thing you have to consider is if your subscribers have already whitelisted your email from whatever platform you're using. If you suddenly switch over to a different platform that's coming from a different addressee, different source,
yeah,
then it might get blacklisted into their spam again. So don't make a habit of jumping from platform to platform to platform. Like, I probably could switch over to Wix because I do have the Wix website now, but I've already got the few subscribers that I have on the Substack, and I don't want to swap that over and make them have to re-whitelist my emails again. So sometimes you don't have a choice. You will
yeah.
have to move. That said, give your readers a heads up. Heads up. Words are hard.
It is.
So they know in the future your newsletter emails are going to be coming from a different source. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel that. But also, you have to start building your list. And there are some ways that you can do that simply by just advertising your website and letting them know through social media. Like, hey, I have a newsletter. If you'd like to sign up, you can go to my website and you can get all this fun stuff, and use things like free short stories, or hey, you can get a deleted chapter from my book, or in a bonus chapter, or whatever, to entice readers to come over to your newsletter. Another way that I did was through ARC readers. When you go to send out ARCs, I typically have an application so I know who I'm sending it to. And at the bottom, I will put, hey, would you like to sign up for my newsletter? I send out newsletters once a month. And a lot of people will say yes. They will say yes, and they will put their email down. So that is a good way to start building that newsletter, because those are the people that are going to be the most loyal in terms of watching what you're doing to go buy your books.
Yeah, I mean that sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add to that is our last point. And most platforms give you this option of exporting your email list. And I would do that as often as you remember, because my personal tagline is technology always fails.
Yeah.
You do not control Substack. You do not control Wix. You do not control Squarespace. So you don't know if that company is suddenly going to vanish. Will they? Probably not. But I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying export that periodically so that if
Yeah.
something does happen and that platform is no longer available to you for some reason, one way or the other, you can take it to a different platform if you have to.
Yeah. That is very smart. I have not thought about that, and I should probably do that.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of that, and on to book reviews. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Oh no, I think we need to I think I need the review of this book after listening to you talk about it.
Okay, so I read Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal by Megan Quinn. And I will say, this is a parody of a Hallmark movie. I don't know if that's how she meant it to be, but this is 100% that's what it feels like. Because you are given this beautiful Christmas forever town all year round. Everything is so Christmassy, and just, I'm a big city gal that moved to a small town and fell in love with the boy who runs the Christmas tree farm. But oh my god. So this follows Atlas, or Max. He goes by Max because of his last name. And Betty. So this is a wild ride. Like, let me tell you, the first 25% of this book, I kept telling myself, oh my god, these characters are stupid. They are so stupid. But I couldn't stop reading because it was so bizarre and just out there that I had to keep reading to see how this would turn out, because I just didn't get it. And there were definitely times the humor was there with his frying pan pecs. I don't know where she got that from. His bulging biceps and frying pan pecs. Yeah. Hilarious. There are definitely times I was cackling because of this book. But essentially, it is what I said. It is a girl who moved from out of town, Betty, and moves on the property behind Max's family Christmas tree farm. And her goal was to set up, essentially, a competing farm. And he starts out with the goal of, I'm going to woo her so she will not do this. Bizarre. It is very funny. And again, like I said, Hallmark movie parody. But once you get past that initial, oh my god, these characters are absolutely ridiculous, you start to get to who they are. And it is very heartwarming. It is very cute. We are filming this in the middle of December, so that's why I am reading a Christmas book for you guys in the middle of January. And I wanted those Christmassy vibes, and if that is what you're looking for, that is maybe Hallmark, but not so corny that it's predictable. Because let me tell you, this book is not predictable. It is not predictable. And the smut is very good. I will say that. The smut is very good. As it sits, I do have a smidgen left to finish, but I wouldn't tell you the ending anyways. So I feel like I can give a good review on it. As it sits right now, without me reading the last 50 pages, it's sitting at a good 4-star. Earlier in the book, that 25% though, it was sitting at like a 2, and I was ready to just friggin' get rid of it. But I was like, no, I'm going to push through and I'm going to keep reading because I'm hoping it gets better. And it does get better. It does get better. So if you're looking for like a heartwarming Christmassy read that is a little smutty with some good smut, I suggest this one. I do. Again, I feel like the author did the infuriating personalities on purpose. And the writing, for the most part, I feel like the writing is good. There's definitely spots where you're like, there's could have been better, some more editing there. But overall, it is fairly well written. And there is something that Megan Quinn does where at the beginning of every chapter, the narrator is speaking directly to you, which I've never seen in a book like that. It honestly reminds me of like the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, where the narrator would talk to Pooh Bear and the audience. That's exactly what Megan Quinn does. So she will talk to you as the reader, like about the story, as well as sometimes Max will talk to her. Like, oh, is this really about to happen? Am I going crazy? Or like, is this happening? And they're like, yeah, this is happening. Like, you're not crazy. So it is interesting. I've never seen that in a book. So that was intriguing. And I actually found that I kind of like it. It adds this dimension to it that I wasn't expecting. And like I said, I kind of like it. It's definitely giving you that movie aspect that you would get when watching a movie and the narrator is talking to you. Like Morgan Freeman. But Megan Quinn. So, yeah. It is good. It is an interesting book, and I would recommend reading it if you can get past their absolute bonkers personality in the first 25%. It is funny, though. It is funny.
Fair enough. Noted.
Yeah. If you can get past it, it's funny. It's good.
Not sure I'll be able to get past it, so
probably
I'll
not.
Just take your word for it.
I think they would drive you absolutely bananas. You're like, I hate this. I hate every second of it. Until you get to the smut, if you could even get to it, then you'd be like, okay. So.
Okay. I am going to review Six of Crows, and I'm not sure if it's pronounced Lee or Lay Bardugo. It's Leigh. I've heard it pronounced both ways. So,
okay.
First though, the cover art. Besides the stupid freaking Target stickers, I love it because it's one of those that has the cover art here, but then it also opens up.
Ooh.
And that's actually one of the identifying tattoos for one of the gangs in the book.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So I know this book is pretty popular, and for good reason. I forgot that this was a YA novel when I was reading it. When I first started it. I have not read YA in a hot minute.
Yeah.
And I also haven't. Okay. One of the main characters in this book, Kaz Brecker, hooked me from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect criminal. Like, remorseless, knew what he was doing, had contingency plan upon contingency plan upon contingency plan, did what he had to do, ruthless. Like, I love these characters to death. And the things that he did were amazing, and I loved it. And I'm not going to go into it because it's really gory.
And it's a YA?
Yes.
Oh, man.
But they were trying to show him as growing and maturing. But I think it backfired, in my opinion, because he is old enough. I think he's 17, if I remember correctly, which is pretty. I'm not saying it's not. Oh, it is young, but he also was raised on the streets, basically. So maturity level wise, very dark backstory. Not going to spoil that because it's also very gory. He is too smart, in my opinion, to do what he did at the end of the book. And that's where I was disappointed. everything that Bardugo had set up for this character. He was smart. He was ruthless. He knew what he was doing. I will say it was no, he had time to recover because it was a very stressful episode of events. But then there was a couple of days that he did have time to kind of recover and get his mental state back. Um, I just was disappointed. I mean, I'm sorry. I know it's a popular book. I know I'm probably gonna get run under the bus by more than a few people about this. And it disappointed me enough. I'm honestly not sure I want to read the second book.
That sucks.
That's how much I was let down by what he did.
Dang.
And there was a tiny bit of redemption at the very end. I don't know. I'm on this. I'm teeter-tottering about whether I'm going to read the second book. It'll probably depend on if I accidentally acquire the book.
Accidentally.
Because I have enough books sitting there waiting for me to read that it's hard for me to want to pick up a book that I was sort of disappointed in.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll surprise myself and I'll read the second book and maybe there is some redemption and I will love it. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, Six of Crows by Lee or Lay, I don't know how it's pronounced, Bardugo. It was really a good book. I would put it at 3.5 to 4 star for me. And she did a really good, like, I hate to say bad about it because it was just in those last 2-3 chapters. Like, I was good with it right up until those very last chapters. Is a strong writer. She's a good writer.
Is she?
And I know why she did what she did with the character. But I just, it's one of those things where you have set the character up to be consistent and then suddenly they break that consistency.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to make bad decisions consistently, I'm fine with that, so long as it's consistent. And this one did not do that for me. So, I'm also, really and truly, I am not a romantic at heart. I am too much of a pragmatic person. And that's what happened. And I'm not that kind of person. And I'm like, what?
No! It's that Steve Carell meme as Michael Scott. No! No!
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that stinks though when you like a book almost all the way through and then the ending just freaking kills it, which I'm really hoping that is not what happens with this Megan Quinn book.
I mean, it was literally, let me see. I'll tell you how many pages it was from the end. I know where it was. Page. I'm getting to it. Give me a second.
Oh, you're good.
Page 451. And the book ended page 462.
The last, what, 9 pages? No, 16.
9 to 10 pages.
9 to 10.
51 to 62.
Oh.
Yep. And there's just this one line. That I'm like, no!
No! I've had those books though where you read it all the way through and you're like, oh yes, I'm enjoying this. This is good. And then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah. And that stinks because then you're just like left just so disappointed. You're just like, I feel like I should go mourn that book decision.
Right? Anyway, Six of Crows. If you're romantic at heart, you will be okay with the ending.
So that you're telling me I would like it.
You would probably like it. Yes.
Well, I mean, I am a romantic at heart, but I feel like if it's an out of character decision. I don't know. We'll see. I might pick it up. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
I have a stack of books sitting next to me. So,
oh yeah, I know.
My TBR is forever growing, and it's not helping now that my husband is now kicked into having a reading habit as well. Because now our date night consists of going to bookstores, and that's not good for my TBR.
Best date night.
It is, but my TBR is now very unmanageable. It is forever growing. But
someday your TBR will be mine. TBR.
Oh my. I think I would be so overwhelmed that I would just shove those off to where I don't see them, and I'm like, oh look, it's empty. Let's start again.
No, I can't do that. I'm not hundreds of dollars worth of books.
Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't mean like get rid of them. It would just be, oh, we're just going to put them on the shelf like they've been read. Oh, look, my TBR is empty. Look at that. But that brings us to the end of this episode. You can find us at writingwithwitches.com. You can email us at writingwithwitches@gmail.com. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, and we have a Discord server, all as Writing with Witches. You can find me at all the aforementioned places as author Autumn Nicole. Nope, Nicole Autumn. I don't even know who I am anymore. Yeah, so all of my links will be down below in the description box of the video or podcast you're listening to, with the links to find me. Leona.
You're going to find me mainly in 4 places: Facebook, Instagram, leonaurbanskiauthor.substack.com and leonaurbanskiauthor.com. Subscribe to the Substack for news on the Kickstarter and when Fire Magic is coming out. And who knows, I may be promoting Unveiled at this point. I probably should, since it's just published.
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
I'll remember. I promise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty short and sweet. My link tree is pretty short and sweet.
Yeah. So what you have what you can look forward to next episode, we will be doing a whole episode about one of our favorite topics that has become our tagline, a research episode. So yeah, you can look forward to that next week. Thank you all for listening and or watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.